beat Josh McDaniels, and suddenly the air feels different. Not just a win, a reset. A reminder that when you out-execute the guy who used to run your building, you get to set the tone. Say what you want. Own the moment. That's where I'm at. I'm still riding the high from taking down the team everybody circled as the trendy playoff sleeper. Double the win total. Second-year leap. All the buzzwords. Cool. They might still be good. But funny how the second the Raiders beat them, the conversation flips to, well, maybe the Patriots aren't that good. It can be both. But don't twist it like the Raiders didn't ball. That's lazy. This is why national predictions miss us. They don't know Dont'e Thornton. They don't see how much better this coaching staff is. They skim the roster and say Jakobi Meyers and Brock Bowers. Fine. Then they shrug. Meanwhile, Jakobi looked like a true WR1, and the young guys we've been talking about, very real. I wanted to come back today with a cleaner breakdown. Less adrenaline, more clarity. We'll get focused. What's up, Raiders fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. First of all, we have an injury update. Tom Pelissero had the Brock Bowers update. He took a shot to the knee, got checked, says he's fine, no concerns moving forward. That matters. And here's why. I spent the offseason preaching about weapons. Michael Mayer. When he's right, he changes your answers in the middle of the field. Yesterday was tight for a long time. Bowers still gave you 5 grabs for 100 plus and then needed a breather on a slick field. Most teams panic there. The Raiders didn't. They said, Mayer, you're up. That's roster construction. That's depth. And I'll triple down on this. He'd be the starting tight end on every other team in the division right now. The Chargers looked lively. The Broncos have pieces. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. But at this moment, that's how I see it. Depth was the quiet storyline all week. I heard the worries. Line play, defense, thin spots. I get it. You don't go from a 4-win team to the Eagles overnight. Doesn't work that way. But we just played a 4-win team that's still rebuilding, and our roster is simply better. Better quarterback, better staff, better offensive answers. Defense? When Gonzalez gets back, they'll look cleaner, sure. But yesterday, our defense flew around and made plays. I've clipped a few things I want to break down later. Devin White might be back. We spent months saying either Kunze or Tyree Wilson needed to pop. What if both do? That's the difference between a rebuild and a reset. We traded for Geno Smith. We drafted Ashton Jeanty. Jeanty didn't pop statistically. Line wasn't moving bodies like we wanted. But the luxury is having multiple ways to win while the run game finds its timing. Bowers at wide receiver reps helped cover for the Amari Cooper retirement chatter. Options. You need them. It's week 1. Weird things always happen. The Bengals nearly stepped into the same trap as last year. A couple of quarterbacks looked like Joe Montana in a rainstorm. The Colts aren't going 17-0. Take a breath. What actually carries? Veteran execution in key downs. Staff making real adjustments. How you stack up against a team the league sees in your tier. That translates. We could fast forward to week 18 and say it fizzled. 6-11. Flash in the pan. Everyone doubled Dont'e. Trey Tucker stopped winning. Jeanty stalled. It's possible. But right now, if I'm calling it, the process looks credible. Let's be adults about it. And that's the story. Patrick Graham, who's had shaky adjustment stretches, adjusted. Chip Kelly didn't just dial plays, he set traps. I think back to last season's videos, Aiden O'Connell, Luke Getsy. Felt like make-believe football some weeks. This is what a real regime looks like. Real quarterback plan. Real OC with answers. DC with a spine, plus one of the best defensive minds of our lifetime, Pete Carroll, whispering in the headset. The second half changes were legit. You felt it. Let's talk about Geno. The stats are nuts. 9 completions of 20-plus yards. Tied for most by a Raiders quarterback in a single game since 1991. Basically as far back as the database cleanly goes. Pete downplayed it. Not a big statement. That's just what he does. And I get why. But for me, that's a marker. I've said it for a while. Geno would be our best since 2021 Derek Carr. I'm ready to say he's the most talented we've had since 2016 Carr. Not crowning anything yet, different roster builds, but that arm talent traveled. Hostile road stadium, improved opponent, defensive head coach, rain. He kept putting the ball where it had to be. Cost to acquire? A 3rd-round pick, John Spytek, tip your cap. I was the guy saying consider a 1st or 2nd for Stafford. Watch Stafford, still spins it, but the physical limits show up more often now. I was wrong. Geno was the move. He would have been my number. 2 on the board at the time, behind Stafford. Darnold, Rodgers, Fields in that next cluster. They all flashed in spots, except maybe Darnold. Geno was the right answer. The film shows how tight the window throws were, and how often they came when the entire building expected run or screen. In the first half, it wasn't pretty, especially late in the second quarter. The shift came with chip sequencing, play action on early downs to freeze the rush, back release and chip, then leak. Chip Kelly using the chip to buy edges. Motion on motion on motion, none of which we showed in preseason. Guys were popping open at the second and third levels. That alone does nothing if your quarterback can't pull the trigger. Geno can. Elite arm talent plus speed, outside plus Brock as a matchup weapon equals answers. I called it a masterclass on offense. I don't throw that around lightly. Next week is the litmus test. Chargers Herbert. It's going to be a fight. We could play well, lose 2 tight ones to the Chargers and Commanders, and still feel okay about the arc. For the record, Geno's probably still the 3rd best quarterback in the division today. He was awesome. So was Herbert. And the folks saying Bo Nix is better than Geno, come on, that's not serious. Back to the front. Maxx Crosby lived in double teams and still wrecked snaps. Multiple pressure, a sack, should have been 2, and I'm still confused how that wasn't ruled a fumble. Pete used a timeout to give them a longer look. It screamed replay assist. Wild. Kunze forced a fumble. Tyree Wilson set the edge and squeezed the run. If Kunze, Wilson, and Butler can combine to be 70% of max snap to snap, this defense can live in high leverage chaos. I've said it, boom or bust. First half flirted with bust, then the pick flipped it. That's how this unit will win. A few timely negatives, a takeaway, and you're off the field. Coaching helped there too. Graham heated Drake May at the right moments, make him sort protections pre-snap, then change the picture post-snap. Stunts to free Maxx. That quarterback hit that forced the errant throw, direct byproduct of sequencing and spacing up front. Ball fell to Isaiah Pola-Mao. Playmaker play. When Landon Roberts went down, Dion White said, "I've got it." Shot the right gaps. Tackle. Got us the ball back. That's the glue that turns close games, and that's the blueprint this year. Hit on a mid-round rookie like Dont'e Thornton. Be right on Ashton Jeanty long-term. Reignite careers. Devin White, Jamal Adams. Let Pola-Mao take another step. Let Geno distribute and make 3 high-leverage throws a quarter. Do that, and you win more than people think. That's how Washington did it. Coaching edge, Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, plus a quarterback jump. We don't have Jaden Daniels, but we have our version of answers. Jeanty, Devin, Jamal, Dont'e, Kuntz, Tyree. If 80% of that group climbs, the ceiling shifts. And the AFC West, as open and competitive as I've seen it in years. So here's where I land. This wasn't some cute September upset. It was a window into who they can be when the staff plays chess and the roster has answers behind answers. I'll keep it honest. Week 1 lies, and there's plenty to fix. Protection has to be better. Coverage depth has to tighten. But the bones are right. The quarterback is right. The staff is aligned. And for once, it feels like the Raiders aren't guessing. They're building.